I really wish this game came out like a year ago. I would have played my PS5 a lot more, and I probably wouldn't consider the PS5 as much of a big pile of garbage as it is right now, even though it's still garbage. What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy, the wisest, most powerful of all nerds. Brimezus is back in here with a video on why Gran Turismo 7 is the racing car game that I've always wanted. But before I get into that video, guys, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment below, guys, tell me what you guys thought about Gran Turismo 7 for the PS5. Don't forget to cop some King Kamara, Brimezus, the other kind of shirts and merchandise off my websites. The link will be in the description box below. And most importantly, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue to give you guys more content on a regular basis. So without further ado, let's get on the video. Funny fact about me, like growing up, I've always been a sports car and race car enthusiast. Not the biggest, but I've always loved cars. You guys probably watch my other videos on YouTube. I've done several videos on cars, Porsche specifically. Porsche's always been my favorite car, and I love Porsches. I love racing games from Mario Kart and whatnot. I tell you one thing, as an athlete and a professional athlete, the type of athlete I've always been jealous of the most, like Formula One drivers. Because I just admired how much skill it takes to be a Formula One driver, to go around the track that kind of speeds and the technicality it takes and the nerves of steel. I'm a professional fighter, so I do respect, basketball, football, everything like that. That takes a lot of work to play at the highest level. I fully understand that. I'm not taking nothing away. Or, as a matter of fact, even like X game players that do like, the flips in the air, the skateboard or BMX or whatever, like, I admire that. But nothing more than the Formula One driver, because I'll always be much into cars. Even though I don't do much racing myself or track days myself, or I don't know how to fix a car from scratch or to change the transmission of my own Porsches, I've still been a very heavy enthusiast when it comes to cars. Gran Turismo 7 has allowed me to really explore that about myself. In addition to that, when it comes to the gameplay, there's a lot of room to grow. Like, I'm somebody that considers themselves very good when it comes to like racing games, like Need for Speed, Mario Kart, etc., Gear Club, whatever you want to call it. Those games, they kind of lacked I wouldn't say they were devoid of any kind of like growth curve or anything like that, or skill curve or learning curve. They definitely did have those. There's definitely a lot of rooms for people to get better in that. Even for myself to get better in all of those games, but not to the same level as Gran Turismo 7. It's so real. Gran Turismo's gameplay is so sharp and so clean that it made my driving in real life better. And I can't say that compared to any other game I've played throughout my life. And I love racing games. It creates sensations that like I've only had like in fighting while doing kickboxing or boxing. For example, hitting the speed bag or sparring, where sometimes time might slow down or you might really find yourself getting into a groove of timing. In Gran Turismo, for example, in the license area, which is like I've spent most of my time playing this game. I'm still at the very beginning of the game, trying to get gold trophies in these license trials. Like, time will literally slow down right in front of your face, where in a lot of those trials, like the difference between getting a bronze, a silver, and even the gold will be like less than an actual second. And you'll spend like maybe an hour or more trying to fine tune your driving skills, like your Lewis Hamilton himself, trying to get the perfect time, hitting that perfect curve, shifting gears at the right time, etc. And I love that because it creates sensations that I can't get from fighting games. I love fighting games like Street Fighter, Smash Bros. Most importantly. And I've never been the most technical player in any of those games, but it really gives you that sensation where, like, if I can see time in slow motion on the screen right in front of my eyes, I don't know if you guys can see it here, but literally a tenth of a second will feel like a second. You'll miss gold trophies, and I missed it several times because I missed it by like thousandths of a second over and over. Is that crazy? But like, I enjoy that. It's so addictive for me. It makes me feel like I'm improving, and I like that kind of growth within a game. Even just the controls, like when you hit the dirt or you hit like the edge of the track, when different cars feel different, and of course different in every game, but like you really just feel it. The way the impacts, the dual shock, it feels so real for some reason. When you hit the trigger, accelerate, you brake, it really just makes you feel connected to the game more so than any other driving game I've ever experienced. In other driving games, you can overcome a lot of the progression and hurdles by just simply getting a faster car, or a car tailor-made for a specific kind of like objective. But not in Gran Turismo 7. Like, it really requires the player at least in the license mode. I haven't really got far in the campaign yet to really fine tune your skills, and like it teaches you stuff. Like for example, in boxing and kickboxing, with only a rudimentary amount of knowledge, you can self-teach yourself a lot about boxing, for example. But you'll still have a lot of bad habits that you'll take if you go to like an actual boxing gym or compete like at like a highest level or of even amateurs. Like you'll get exposed for that. And that's kind of like how I am with like racing games or driving in general. Like, you know, I've been on tracks, I've done well driving on tracks, but I know like I'm in every sense of the term a true amateur. I'm not a Formula 1 driver, I'm no Lewis Hamilton. And that's how that game makes you feel. And it makes you feel like, okay, I never really knew this about racing and driving. Even though I admired it so much, I never took the time to really learn. And this, with my kind of schedule and the life I have right now, of course I'm never gonna be a Formula 1 driver. I'm never gonna be a professional sports car racer, hitting the track and get like the best kind of track times. Maybe I like to do one day. I definitely want my goal is to definitely do like a lot more realistic driving on tracks with like, you know, sports cars and Porsches and whatnot. I do love that stuff, but Gran Turismo has allowed me to explore that about myself without having to actually go to the track. And yes, guys, I do prefer the real thing over like the video games, but like the video games is so tight that it allowed me to like enjoy games as I did like as if I was a child, and I really do like that. I haven't got to get to the multiplayer, the online, and I know like it's a PS5 game. A lot of PS5 games now, they're, you know, cash grabs for just like, you know, getting money, getting cars and stuff like that. But I find the most pleasure not just even getting like new cars in the game, but just, you know, improving my actual driving in the game, learning how to take corners better, consecutive turns, learning in and out methods, you know, downshifting better and whatnot. So yes, Gran Turismo, like more, even some of my favorite games of all time. That's like even like The Legend of Zelda. I'm not saying I like it as much as I do like The Legend of Zelda or Smash Bros. By any means, but it's giving me like sensations that none of those games could ever give me, that I only can really get from like a hobby that I love, like kickboxing. And I love that. My biggest gripes with the game itself is like the PS5, you know? Like I'm glad there's no loading times or anything like that, but like the mapping of the PS5 like buttons, like in other games like Nintendo for example, where the X button would be on the Nintendo Switch, that would be like the downshift because it's lower. So like in your mind it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna downshift. And where the square button would be, that would be like where you're upshift, you'll shift up a gear. But it's opposite in Gran Turismo. And that was like giving me like the hardest time, because why would they map it that way? Sony just does stupid stuff sometimes, and I hate it. Aside from that, guys, look, I'm at a point in my life where I can't really review games because of my busy schedule, but I want to talk to you guys about games. I love talking about video games. With everything going on in my life, like, you know, I can put like all these hours in the games. I like to be a completionist. I still haven't beat Pokemon Legends Arceus. You guys can check out that video right here, because I knew by the time I beat that game, I'll have like probably 300 hours in, and I really like to complete games. So instead of doing actual reviews on games, I want to explain why I enjoyed games like on day one or in the first week, and why you guys should play those games too. And as far as I can tell so far, Gran Turismo is absolute fire. It's the racing game that I've been waiting like my whole life to like really have. It has a large selection of cars, the music is great, the graphics are not just, you know, sharp and clean, but like I like how the daytime shifts throughout the day in that game, and like, you know, you kind of, it does a great job of immersing you into like the gameplay experience with just like the tight controls, the feedback sensations, and all of that. So if you're looking for a supreme racing game, guys, that I've been devoid of for like a long time, I highly recommend you pick up Gran Turismo 7 for the PS5 if you have a PS5. If you're looking for a PS5, how's your boy? I got one for you for like $1,000, maybe $1,200 bucks. $1,000 if you're lucky though. Guys, that's gonna wrap up my video on why Gran Turismo 7 is fire. But don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to tell me what you guys like about Gran Turismo 7. Don't forget to cop some King Kamara Brimezus t-shirts off my websites. The link will be in the description box below. And most importantly, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue guys more content on a regular basis. And if you guys aren't satisfied, check out some more videos on my YouTube channel. They'll be posted up here in the thumbnails. But anyway, guys, again, your boy Brimezus. I'll see you guys next time.